Well, the knowledge of Maharishi Sthapatya Veda is very ancient. It's a timeless knowledge that comes from the Vedas. It's the knowledge about how to build in accordance with natural law. And even in ancient times, they were thinking about how an individual could live or work in a house which was in tune with the cosmos. Rendlesham, near Woodbridge in Suffolk, is a unique project because it uses the full knowledge of Maharishi Sthapatya Veda for the entire design and construction of 50 houses. Maharishi Sthapatya Veda is a revival of the ancient system of Sthapatya Veda, which is in various texts around the world. It's particularly been used in India. And Maharishi Mahesh Yogi has revived this knowledge, and he has isolated certain fundamental principles which are used in the design and construction of houses and other buildings. Fundamentally, they are the principle of orientation. So buildings are aligned with the true north, south, east, west. So the sun rises in the morning, and not just the sun but the moon and the stars all rise in the east and they set in the west, and this creates a sort of invisible line of influence across the planet, and we align the houses with that influence so that there's a harmonious effect on the occupants. And the whole idea is to have houses and buildings which create good fortune, and the good fortune comes from a seamless connection between the individual and the cosmos. Orientation is the most important part of it, but there are other principles involving proportions, placement of rooms. There are certain features in Maharishi Sthapatya Veda. There's a fence or a Vastu, an area which defines where Sthapatya Veda principles are used. It's usually a square around a house. And then in the centre of a house, there is what's called a Brahmastan, which is a centre of silence. It's an area, small area, which is not used for anything, but all the activities of the house circulate around it, and it's the geometric centre of the house. And people find they live in these houses and work in them, and they're having very good experiences of just things seem to be in the right place, things look nice. There's a connection that you feel between the inside and the outside, because you're in your house and somehow it's hard to explain, but you're more aware of what time of day it is, of the sun going round, of the morning, at the afternoon. Your activities somehow are more geared to the quality of sunlight and the time of day, and it's, as I say, it's hard to explain, but somehow you feel more connected. And Maharishi said that the knowledge of Sthapatya Veda is that which connects the individual intelligence with cosmic intelligence. And we all know from our practice of transcendental meditation and other Vedic science that man is fundamentally cosmic, that the knowledge of Sthapatya Veda is sort of embedded in our physiologies, if you like. And what we're doing by living in a house which is correctly designed according to those principles is we're attuning ourselves fundamentally with ourselves, because if the house is an expression of the Sthapatya Veda, then the body is also an expression of Sthapatya Veda, and the whole thing becomes connected. And you don't think about it, you live in the house and you just get on with it, rather like you meditate in the morning and evening and then you don't think about meditation. But constantly one is gaining this feeling of support, and the houses are supportive of what you want to do. Fundamentally, the idea is that one is established where one lives, and being established, you go out from there and enjoy success in the world. But to be established, you have to have a very good setup of orientation, placement of rooms, proportions and dimensions, which somehow connect with the human physiology. And that is what the knowledge of Sthapatya Veda is, really.
Brigitte and I have lived here for about 3 or 4 years now, So we rented a house at first, and then a year ago, about a year and a quarter, we moved into our own house. It's interesting the difference between the house that our old house and our new house. Obviously, we lived in our old house for 15 years in Skelmersdale. We were very attached to it. It was a lovely house, and we built up a beautiful garden. So we were very attached to it. But I think it was difficult to leave it. We did like it, and the main thing, the very, very big difference I find as an artist and illustrator is the quality of light in the house. That one always felt that you wanted, in the old house, you wanted more windows, and you felt that the sun wasn't quite in the right place. So we noticed that we didn't get much west light. But in the Sthapatya Veda house, everything is to do with the direction of the sun. So you get the sun in the morning when it shines, you get the sun at lunchtime, and you get the beautiful quality of evening light as well.
We've focused at Rendlesham in building houses and apartments initially, and now we need to build community facilities. And we have a very exciting and ambitious plan to build what we call a peace palace, which is a residential educational centre where people can come from all over the world and do courses in Maharishi's Vedic science. And this is quite a big building. It's about 30 bedrooms and 22,000 square feet, and it'll be placed at the back of our development, sort of overlooking the development, and it will be staffed by many of the people who live here. But as I say, people will come for long courses, residential, and also for conferences and exhibitions on Vedic science. And it'll be a national centre, and just as the Rendlesham housing project is the largest in Europe, I think this could well be the first peace palace in Europe which performs this role.